Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, and London, England, as well as Paris, France, of course. You good old boys in Canada, we love you in Africa, the Big C tribe, but there's no one we love more than the good old boys down south in the land of the free and the home of the brave on a beautiful March the 27th, 2020. Rondo Deportes, Big C is still mining for gold. He'll be back in the saddle soon. It's all fair in love and war. I want to say today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent you, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars. Also, Big C Sports is powered by Google and Alexa. Just say Google or Alexa, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear from our sponsors. You will hear Welcome to the Show. I will introduce Big C as the Mystic from 3,000 miles away, and he'll do his thing. And I really appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the yours. Really appreciate that. Also, want to make sure that we give out our Veterans Crisis Hotline for military veterans and anybody going through troubled times. It's amazing how much they can really help people. You call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255 and get some help. Or if you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net, and you can get some help. I hope you notice our baseball theme today. Really missing baseball. Today's supposed to be opening day of Major League Baseball all over this great country. So I wanted to open the show starting with the theme and the organs that play at Major League Baseball stadiums all over this great country. We'll talk more about that too. Also want to say, launching a real estate TV listing show in the spring of 2020. Already underway in some markets in this great country. The goal, to recruit 100 real estate brokers to put their property listings on TV, just like McDonald's does it, just like car dealerships do it, and just like our Major League Baseball teams are supposed to be doing it right now too, but we don't have Major League Baseball. They're doing the Big C Pulse. Let real estate work for you. We can also do refinancing of your property. If you're looking to buy a home, we can do your purchase money loans. We can also do the refinancing and listing properties. It's all fair in love and war. Really looking forward to that. I know we had the $2 trillion stimulus bill, the coronavirus stimulus package, signed today. The Senate did it yesterday, the House did it today, and then POTUS did it this afternoon. So we'll talk more about that and how that really affects all the baseball fans and football fans and basketball fans all over this country. They're cheering about that. And what I really love is that it puts food in the bellies of a lot of young kids. They need that money, and we want to make sure that we do our part with that. I just really appreciate that this country is really taking care of the people that have need, from business owners. Of course, it trickles down to the regular citizens. Regular citizens need that money too. So I wanted to open today's show kind of celebrating for Major League Baseball and letting the baseball fan know that we really do appreciate Major League Baseball and that we miss it too. Just like you, we're all kind of missing the world of Major League Baseball. And I'll get into that too as we talk more about what's going on in sports. But I would also just say, for all of the people that are doing their thoughts about Major League Baseball, and we have kind of, in my opinion, it's a tribute to all 30 teams, the Big C team, that we want to be the first to say, opening day to all the fans out there in Major League Baseball. I remember when I was a little boy, what got me into the game of baseball is just playing Little League. There was even a time that my mother, she was a coach for my Little League baseball team. We actually ended up winning a championship, and I made All-Stars, so really appreciate that. And so if Big C wants to do it first, And this is my opinion, and everybody has their own thoughts about how this goes down. But the Old Cole Coliseum, Big C Sports want to say it is opening day in beautiful Oakland, California, sold-out crowd capacity of 35,607. Let's play ball. That would be great for the fans of Oakland in the East Bay to hear. I know they love that. Also in the beautiful state of Florida, Tropicana Field capacity, sold-out crowd, 31,042. In the Sunshine State, they're still playing in a dome. Doesn't make any sense, but they're doing it. Big C, let's play ball to all of our friends down in Tampa. Big C Sports, even though Major League Baseball is taking the pause, Big C Sports is going to make sure that we mention, welcome to the game, welcome to the show, and welcome to the ballparks. It's all fair in love and war. I also want to go up to the beautiful country of Canada, the Rogers Center in beautiful Toronto, Canada. Opening day, capacity crowd, 49,282. Let's play ball. I love baseball. I know we have a lot to get over with in this country. A lot of people are afraid. They're locked up inside. They're doing the right thing. You got to keep your distance, but we can still pay homage to baseball. And Big C Sports wanted to do the first call out of the first pitch at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. 48,114 capacity. They're waiting for their new ballpark to open up, but it's on the pause too. But 48,000 fans, as we say in Texas. Let's play ball down in Arlington, Texas. I'm sure they can't wait to get the new digs open up for the Rangers in the beautiful state of Texas. Also, beautiful city, Miami, Florida. Big C Sports wants to say to Marlin Ballpark, Miami, Florida. Capacity crowd, 36,472, but they forgot to tell the city to show up. A lot of times they don't show up. Let's play ball. Really looking forward to that. I know we'll get baseball back, and we'll get it back hopefully sometime for the boys of summer to come out and do their thing. I also want to say for the beautiful city of Chicago, Illinois, guaranteed rate field, capacity crowd, 40,615. Let's play ball for the beautiful Chicago White Sox. Not many places are better when they have a dome than when you go down to the desert. And Arizona at Chase Field, capacity crowd, 48,633. Big C Sports wants to tell you, let's play ball. I'm doing my part to play ball anyway. A lot of people are playing their video games. I know my son is doing that, even though he's out of school. He's not letting it stop him. He's still taking his video games and playing mostly basketball. He's not really a baseball guy. So Big C Sports wants to say, welcome live to Miller Park in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Capacity crowd, 41,900. Let's play ball. I know they can't wait to get back on the diamond in the beautiful ballpark in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's a team that should be loaded this year. And as we go out to the great Northwest at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington, home of the Seattle Mariners, capacity 47,476 strong. Let's play ball. I know they're going through a lot in the beautiful city of Seattle and the suburbs, and we just hope that even though they don't have baseball right now, they're going to push it back, that maybe Big C Sports can just bring a little bit of levity to all of our sports fans. They would naturally be out cheering because yesterday, Thursday, and today, Friday, would have been opening day for all of our great ballparks around this great country. So as we say, in the beautiful Midwest is a city called St. Louis. At Busch Stadium, Big C Sports welcomes you, a capacity crowd, 43,975. Let's play ball. Everybody loves St. Louis. The arch is a beautiful landstone. It's amazing. Everybody loves that arch. The way it came together, it took a certain time of the day for the earth to heat the ground, and they were able to move it into place. A lot of people don't know that about the beautiful arch in St. Louis. Also, Big C Sports wants to welcome you in the Midwest, Great America Ballpark in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Capacity crowd, 42,319. Let's play ball. We can all wish for a baseball to be here. I know sometimes people are watching replays, but you can never say that Big C Sports did not do the first official opening of Major League Baseball. New York City, we know New York's going through a lot, but sometimes when you're going through something, you need something that's reliable to show up. Kind of like that old crack of the bat at Citi Field. Big C Sports welcome you, New York City. A sold-out capacity crowd, 41,922. Let's play ball. And the crowd erupts in beautiful New York City. They're really going through a lot. Our friends from the Big Apple, and your thoughts and prayers are with everybody as we're dealing with this coronavirus. And I know with medical science, we will solve that very, very soon. Big C Sports welcomes Progressive Field in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Capacity crowd sold out, 42,487. Let's play ball. Everybody can cheer for opening day of Major League Baseball. We're going to do our part, kind of to get the people out of their doldrums. At least I know it's working for me. Big C Sports welcomes you to Nationals Ballpark in beautiful Washington, D.C., where they all came together. Imagine the Democrats and Republicans, the House and the Senate, and POTUS, they can all come together and sign a bill, a stimulus package, and it should help everybody. At least I hope that's the intention. It's a $6.2 trillion deal. They're starting with the first $2 trillion phase that already got signed in the law, and I know people will get their money soon. So Big C Sports welcomes you to National Park in beautiful Washington, D.C., 41,418, home of the defending World Series champion Washington Nationals. Let's play ball. We're looking forward to that. There's a lot of cheering going on in Washington, D.C., especially today, with some help on the way. It's not perfect, but this too shall pass. We just need science, and we need our medical community to come together. Beautiful Detroit, Comerica Park, Big C Sports welcomes you. Capacity crowd on opening day, 41,681. Let's play ball. Everybody loves baseball. It's going to get us out of our doldrums. And just so you know, I wanted to make sure that we speak it into existence. I'm hoping that the game of summer can really be back again. God knows we all need it. It makes everybody feel just a little bit better. We are in beautiful Houston, Texas, Minute Maid Park. Home capacity crowd of 42,060. Let's play ball. And there's a lot of video cameras in the locker rooms and also in the dugouts. I don't know what that's all about, but everybody has their own opinion about the fighting that goes on down in the state of Texas. Got to be a little bit flippant to those good old boys down in Texas. I think I've heard first, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, Big C. So we do a lot of good old boys down in Texas just having some fun with you. I don't think they're going to give back that 2017 World Series against the Dodgers. We go next to the city of brotherly love, Citizens Bank Ballpark. Big C Sports welcomes you, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Capacity crowd 43,651. Let's play ball. Everybody loves baseball, especially in Philly. And I hope they don't boo their home players. We know that's going to happen. You know, every now and then, when you're going to Southern California, there's a beautiful park called Disneyland where Mickey Mouse hangs out. But if you want to check out a baseball stadium, Big C Sports welcomes you to Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California, home of Mike Trout. I think he's the richest player in the baseball universe. I know he's loving that. And there's a lot of great baseball they're going to be playing at Angel Stadium coming up. And 45,483 will be there cheering you on. Let's play ball. Everybody's looking forward to seeing Mike Trout and that powerful right arm that he has. Everybody loves baseball, and we know that eventually it will be back. There's a song called Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Okay, I don't sing it as long as the good old boys did back in the day, but Big C Sports wants to be the first to welcome you to opening day of Major League Baseball, Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Capacity crowd 50,398. Let's play ball. Everybody's looking for that. Very smoky in Denver. I don't know why it's so smoky in the air, but I think they legalize a lot of things. Maybe it's trash burning day at Big C, but we know them good old boys are very relaxed at that stadium up at Mile High. It's just beautiful. I love Denver. Also, Kauffman Stadium. You know, they have the fortune of saying they have a World Series championship, also a Super Bowl championship with the Kansas City Chiefs and Kansas City Royals. But for opening day, Big C Sports welcomes you to Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Let's play ball. Capacity 37,903, and what's one of the more beautiful ballparks, in my opinion, in the United States of America. Wow. Got to take a pause for this one, because our thoughts and prayers with all of our great friends in New York City. Yes, I said New York City, home of the Yankees. Big C Sports welcome you opening day, Major League Baseball, Yankee Stadium, 49,642. Let's play ball. My goodness, I want to also just congratulate the responders in New York City. Andrew Cuomo doing his best to make sure that city has enough ventilators. POTUS finally took him a while, but he finally signed a bill today that's going to get some more ventilators. I think GM's going to help get that out to the great people in the great state of New York. So we look forward to that happening too. But Yankee Stadium, if you can make it in the Big Apple, you can make it everywhere. Really looking forward to them getting on their feet again too. Also, we come out to beautiful, sunny Southern California. Big C Sports welcomes you to opening day, Major League Baseball at Petco Park, 42,302. Let's play ball. The beautiful San Diego Padres, Petco Park, one of the most beautiful stadiums in all of Major League Baseball, right there in the heart of downtown. And I think a lot of people are really going to look forward to that this year, as baseball will hopefully come back by the summertime. We know we all need it to get our minds off of all the junk that we've had to deal with. One of the most beautiful, picturesque stadiums in the history of Major League Baseball. Big C Sports welcomes you opening day, Chavez Ravine Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. 56,000 on hand. Let's play ball. You know, Vin Scully, again, probably the greatest voice in baseball, retired, but I know he still wants to go to the games and see, Dodger Blue. That team has won. They've been tearing up the National League West over the last couple of years, but I wanted to make sure that we do our part, Big C Sports, in opening up Major League Baseball. I'm hoping and praying, with the help of science and God's providence, we'll have baseball tipping off here in the summer. At least that's my hope. Big C Sports wants to welcome you to the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia. SunTrust Park, capacity crowd 41,084. Let's play ball. Let's get out and play some ball and exercise those demons and not just be trapped inside. I know they're saying practice social distancing. People got to do that. And I look forward to the days that we can get back to some normalcy in all of our lives. Baseball has always been able to do some of that for me. In the beautiful city called the Great Lakes, city of the Great Lakes, we have beautiful Target Field. Big C Sports welcomes you. Minneapolis, Minnesota, capacity crowd 39,021. Let's play ball. We're all looking forward to that, Big C. I know there's a lot going on in the world of sports and also in society, and sports can always bring us together. We can never let go of that little boy in the inside of all of us. We go back to the beautiful city of Baltimore, Maryland. Big C Sports welcomes you to opening day of Major League Baseball. Camden Yards, capacity 45,971. Let's play ball. Hopefully everybody will get into the swing of things, and baseball will be back, hopefully. I'm hoping by the summer. At least you can hope. They say you got to keep hope alive. We'll keep hope alive as we do that. One of the most beautiful ballparks in the history of the universe. You have to go no further than the East Coast. Boston, Massachusetts. Big C Sports welcomes you to Fenway Park, home of the Green Monster in Boston, Massachusetts. Capacity opening day 37,499. Let's play ball. I really love the city of Boston. Fenway Park is rustic, but it sure is a beautiful place, and a lot of great baseball has been played there over the years. If you want to see baseball the way it should be played, sometimes, I know we all want the brand new stadium. We want the brand new everything. But if you ever get the chance to see beautiful Wrigley Field, Big C Sports welcomes you to downtown Chicago. Beautiful Wrigley Field, sold out capacity crowd 41,072. Let's play ball. That is a great place. I know the great Harry Carey made Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and a lot of good old boys would sing, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. That's the great Harry Carey, and I want to do my version of just shaking off that macabre feeling that a lot of us feel because we're all stuck inside and we're all kind of boxed in, and sometimes you got to get out and yell. Just get out and scream and let some things out of your system. Keep yourself emotionally healthy. and that'll make us all feel better. Also, 2 more stadiums left. Big C Sports wanted to be the first to open it up to baseball in 2020. I'm hoping and praying it's here by the summertime. Probably not before Easter, but hopefully. I'm hoping with all hope by the summertime. Beautiful BNC Park in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big C Sports welcomes you to the opening day of Major League Baseball. Capacity crowd, 38,362. Let's play ball. Everybody loves baseball, and that PNC Park, really one of the most beautiful, picturesque parks in all of baseball. And sometimes the universe will bring you to the most beautiful ballpark in the United States of America. And I know you have guys like the great Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, obviously guys like Juan Marichal, and then you have McCovey Cove. There's so many great players, but this is the house that Barry Bonds built. Even though he didn't use his own money, he did pack a lot of seats. Big C Sports welcomes you to opening day of Major League Baseball for the 2020 season. Oracle Park, San Francisco, California. Capacity crowd, 41,503. Let's play ball. We all love baseball, and I hope that we can do our part in just making people realize that we have a lot to be grateful for. And I really know that whether you love baseball or if you don't love baseball, maybe you're more of a basketball fan, at least what we can do is just celebrate the fact that baseball's done a lot for so many people. Some of the top moments in baseball have just been things that we all look forward to. And we don't have the chance to see it right now, but we can think about it. We can talk about it. We can hope that it comes back again, and it's going to come back again hopefully this spring would be nice, maybe in the summer, but it's still something that we love. At least I love it, and I wanted to do my part, at least in the first half of today's show, Big C Sports. I know it's a little bit different today, but I want to get out and shake around and jump around and be happy and exercise and read. I know a lot of people are cooped up inside. I'm so grateful that we can do the Big C Sports Show from anywhere in the universe. Really love doing that part to make that happen. I want to just talk about some of the seminal moments in Major League Baseball history, and you really don't have to look much further than the great Jackie Robinson and how, everybody knows Jackie Robinson had to do a lot that he should not have had to do, but he did break the color barrier in 1947. And I know a lot of times we go through things, and sports can bring our country together. It can bring people together. We try religion, we try politics. Sometimes that doesn't work, but when you look back to what a lot of people feel about how the class that Jackie Robinson displayed, facing horrendous racism by many in and outside of the game, a lot of people felt it went a long way in helping shape the public perception of how African Americans and white Americans could get together and break bread and just do things the right way. And I think for a lot of African American men and women, we've always had to kind of make excuses for the mainstream society. But in mainstream society also, there's a lot of good people on both sides and good and bad people in different sizes, different shapes and colors. But I really appreciate what Jackie Robinson did. In fact, we were just paying homage to opening day, Major League Baseball, Big C Sports style. And I don't think there were any stadiums less than 30,000. That's the one down in Florida, Tropicana Field. But when Robinson debuted in Major League Baseball, it was for the Dodgers in front of 26,623 fans that showed up at Ebbets Field, and an estimated 14,000 were African Americans. A lot of those fans were really big into the Negro League baseball, but baseball finally did some right things, capitulated and opened some doors for all people. It's so important. Also, another similar moment in baseball. Say it ain't so. We just talked about the great Fenway Park, but the Boston Red Sox, they actually decided to sell Babe Ruth to the Yankees, their hated rival. Does that make any sense? That would be like Joe Montana being traded to the Rams at the time when they were both playing in football in California of all places too. But you think about that, decided to get rid of him, and the Yankees, it's amazing how many titles they won. They won 4 World Series titles, 1923 to 1932, and from 1914 to 1919, Ruth was one of the top pitchers in the game for the Red Sox. He led the league with a 1.75 ERA in 1916 and he won 20 games in 1916 and 1917, and he was also emerging as a very powerful hitter too. So Major League Baseball, the names of guys that you hear, like Hank Aaron, of course, and Jackie Robinson, and then Babe Ruth, of course, right up there too. I want to talk about the great Hank Aaron, maybe the real home run king. He did it his with a lot of days when guys were not doing whatever, rubbing cream on their bodies to make them bigger and stronger. But the great Hank Aaron hit 715 home runs in pursuit of Babe Ruth's career home run record. And think about it, in stark contrast to the great Barry Bonds' pursuit of Aaron's 33 record. It was 33 years later that the great Barry Bonds surpassed the great Hank Aaron. So I remember when I first saw what television does for advertising, is I believe I saw a Visa commercial on the outfield as Hank Aaron hit number 715, and he was actually running around the ballpark, and they were actually allowing people to get on the field at that time in baseball. So, it took a long time, 33 years, for the great Barry Bonds to catch up to him. But those are moments that people will always think about in baseball. Also, another seminal moment, the shot heard around the world, 1951. Think about that. The rivalry we had between the New York Giants and the Dodgers and Yankees during the golden age of baseball were unlike anything else seen in sports today. The clubs were not just professional baseball teams. They also represented communities and neighborhoods. Now a lot of the, well, I can still say that exists in Boston at Fenway Park, and then Wrigley Field in Chicago. It still has that neighborhood feel where it's not out on some industrial park by itself, even though a lot of ballparks like AT&T are now Oracle Ballpark in San Francisco. Field down in San Diego, a lot of those ballparks are downtown, and that really brings people downtown to congregate and drink libations and celebrate the game of baseball. Just a couple of more moments before we get into the second half of Big C Sports. Today is paying homage to baseball, and I know we're missing opening day. A lot of people are having, their feelings about that because they use it as a way to kind of pause. Grandparents and parents and their children, siblings. It's amazing how you can get together at baseball. It brings a lot of people together. I know many people might think what you call a seminal moment in the world of sports, just like a thunderstorm, it's a seminal moment in weather. The luckiest man on the face of the earth, 1939, you heard those statements from the great Lou Gehrig, luckiest man speech, may be the most enduring item from Lou Gehrig's Appreciation Day, and the true spectrum of the entire day is sometimes lost in history. Everybody knows it, and perhaps as colorful and dramatic a pageant as ever was enacted on a baseball field. 61,808 fans, they thundered in a great farewell to the great Lou Gehrig at Yankee Stadium. It's just beautiful. Baseball is great, and not everybody loves it, but it really is something that brings a lot of people together. Joe DiMaggio, another seminal player in the world of baseball, his 56 straight games. He hit in 56 straight games. That is absolutely amazing. 1973, Major League Baseball Commissioner Ford Frick composed a list of 10 records that would never be broken, and that is definitely one of them. But it might be broken someday because there's a lot of players that still know how to swing the bat, and they do whatever they can to stay in shape, and guys are hitting the ball a mile an hour. It's just amazing how many people love the game of baseball, and I'm very happy to say that I'm part of it. I grew up around it. I know the great Cal Ripken, that's another seminal moment in baseball when he passed Lou Gehrig. That was in 1995. For the better part of the 20th century, Lou Gehrig's record of 2,130 consecutive games, it was at the top of the list. And then things are meant to be broken. And so you got to thank the great Cal Ripken for just showing up every day, whether it was raining, whether it was cold outside. And it's amazing how if you have that spirit to go forward, you can. Ripken's streak continued, when you think about it, another 501 games to bring his record to 2,632 consecutive. To me, that's amazing. Last I'll finish with, because they would have been playing on opening day before we get into the Big C timeout, also known as the Big C pause. Teams move all over the country now. But when you think about the Dodgers and the Giants, they both moved from the East Coast to California. That was 1958. If you had told the New Yorkers in the 1950s that by the end of the decades, the Dodgers and the Giants would be playing their home games in California, I don't think a lot of people would have believed that. It's a far-fetched thought, but when you think about it, 1958, not that long ago, the Dodgers and Giants were playing their baseball in California, and a lot of people will always love the moments when they were back there, but no one can forget this. Score, 5-4, bottom of the ninth. The pitch, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run! And everybody loves the game of baseball. I love it too. I wanted to take the first half of the show of the Big C Pause and do our homage to Major League Baseball. We'll take the Big C Pause, also known as the Big C Timeout. We'll come right back and we'll talk more about what's going on in the world of sports. Welcome back from the Big C Timeout, also known as the Big C Pause. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe, iHeartRadio Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on the app that I love called Google. And Alexa, just say Google or Alexa, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear from our sponsors. You will hear Welcome to the Show. I will introduce Big C as the Mystic from 3,000 miles away, and he will do his thing, and I really appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Really appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. Also, I want to just make sure that people know we are excited about launching a real estate listing channel already underway in some markets in this great country. And in that, you can list your properties on TV, just like the NFL's on TV, McDonald's is on TV, the car dealership that you're driving that car right now is on TV. You can do a lot of things with the world of sports on TV, and we want to make sure we bring that to you on the Big C Sports, and I really look forward to doing that. And I also wanted to say, as I did the paying homage to Major League Baseball, I knew we don't have, opening day, but in my mind, we have opening day. In fact, as the great Vin Scully once was lamented, someone asked him about a player, and he said, well, isn't this pitcher day-to-day? And the great Vin Scully said, well, aren't we all day-to-day? And we really are day-to-day. So just be grateful for what we have. Love your family. Keep yourself healthy. And find some levity. I wanted to bring some levity to today's show. And just to get into some things that are actually happening, because I'm not obtuse, wanted to make sure that I talk about some things that are important to me. It's about getting the money. And we got that money now. It's just about time that Congress decides that they're going to do what it takes to help the American people. So now that we have the $2 trillion stimulus plan, and there's a $6 trillion total, $2 trillion is actually passed today. I want to make sure that I say to all of the people that sponsor sports shows, there's a lot of people at home, there's a lot of companies playing replays. Now that bill is passed, and we're going to go forward, and hopefully science and God's providence can help us all get better. I ask national sponsors, put your money behind podcast companies. It is the fastest growing medium in the universe. I love doing what we do with Big C Sports Podcast. And you can put your money behind the podcast company that actually make a difference. Not everybody's telling you what's really going on in life. They're just covering sports, or some of them are doing replays. And I want you to know that Big C Sports is the only sports show in the universe that open on opening day of Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred, you know that. Everybody's on pause. They could do what I just did right now. They could actually go to the ballpark and do maybe they're saying social distancing, I understand that, but we still got to go out and get groceries at times. So what if people went to a ballpark and they just had the cameras on the field, on the stadium? I think that would help people a lot more than just playing replays, but that's my opinion. Everybody can do their own thing. But as I say, we're doing things that are not fake news. We're not having fake arguments. We're not playing old replays. We even open up paying homage to Major League Baseball on opening day, the tribute to Major League Baseball. Every city, we just did the tribute for that. So I want to make sure that when that dollar's handed around for the broadcast companies, the ones that are on pause, the ones that are not showing up, maybe they're doing replays through half of the shows, but they're sponsored anyway. Well, there's no replays on Big C Sports. I want to make sure that we wag our own tail. Every dog has to wag his own tail. And so the most valuable thing we can do, in my opinion, as people of media, is protect our brethren, our fellow men. I think talking about the coronavirus is socially responsible. I think not talking about it is not socially responsible, especially in New York City. We just paid homage to the Mets and also the Yankees in New York. Also, you could even say the Red Sox in Boston. Those are three major cities that are being hit pretty hard by this pandemic. And, you know, it's nice to get people to just be grateful, to breathe and stay healthy. I know people are going through a lot of things, but when you're sponsoring shows that are not even going live, they're taking the time out, they're taking the pause. The reason I say sponsor Big C Sports is make that your next $1 million sponsorship. There's so much money in this business. You have companies that are on pause, they're playing replays. And maybe that's what they're capable of doing. But you can pay shows, you can sponsor shows, and you know who I'm talking to. I'm just saying, put what we're doing. Big C Sports is the only sports show in the universe that actually did a live opening day and paying homage to all the ballparks. A lot of other people are just showing you replays of what happened last year. And you can Google that. So I love the fact that I brought that to you, and I want to make sure that we keep bringing that to you because it's important to me that we keep doing that. And every time we get the chance to, we want to make sure that we keep it fresh, just like fresh produce. So if you think about it, the greatest country in the world is America. At least that's our jingoistic view. When the world is seeing America prosper, I think more countries prosper. That's just my hope, and that's my belief. So when we the people are working and have health care, that's real sports talk. We're all better. Our fans are better. Our athletes are better. Our grandparents are better. Our parents are better. Our families are better. We've been doing this for 5 years. The only sports show in the universe that does it live without a producer, without a teleprompter, and it's not for everybody, but I just ask you fact check whatever we talk about because it's real. And if you can give companies, and I'm talking to you sponsors, and some of you know who I'm talking to, if you can give millions of dollars to companies that don't even show up, they're just playing that replay from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, or some of them playing replays from last year. They missed Major League Baseball because they decided to pause. They still could have had a chance to do a live opening day, just saying thank you from those stadiums. Big C Sports just did that. And I want the sponsors to pay attention to that. It's live. It's not something that's fake or 10 or 15 years old. And you can Google that too. I'm still going to ask the 1 million pastors to pray for God's providence and a solution to solve this problem with coronavirus. We all know that's important. I want to make sure that I do my part in just letting people know that we want to make sure that we have a heart for what's going on in sports, and people need that. So just keep that in mind. I want to take a little pause and just mention, I don't know her personally, but I think as part of the broadcast brethren and sisterin, if that's the word also, NBA analyst Doris Burke had tested positive for the coronavirus, and she's opened up about her symptoms. And this is to give people hope that may be going through it. There's a chance. I mean, you can always make it through anything with God's help, but I just appreciate the fact that, she's had some success. Just over 2 weeks ago, Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert came out and became the first NBA player to test positive for coronavirus. And, initially that prompted a lot of people to postpone games. It was the Jazz and Oklahoma City, the Thunder, that game. And then I know Sacramento and New Orleans Pelicans, they didn't play that night either. Some other notable players in the league, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Marcus Smart, they also had come down with that. They contracted the virus. It doesn't mean that they won't recover. And that's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm hoping and praying that we can find some type of cure. I don't know Doris Burke, but I love her work. I think she's been a vanguard for a lot of women who want to get into the world of broadcast. She knows her things. She does live call, play-by-play of Major League, actually NBA basketball. And some of the major sports, they're opening doors to more women. A lot of the Major League sports, NFL's doing it. They have some officials that are women officials that are doing officiating for NFL football. Major League Baseball actually has female voice in the broadcast booth. I know NHL has done that too. And so when you see someone with the stature of a Doris Burke, and this is hope, because people can see that you could overcome this. She did the social distancing. She stayed home as far as I know, and I just learned about it by just things that go on in the world of sports and looking up information. So I just hope and pray that she makes a full recovery. I think for anybody going through that, you want to make sure you stay safe, but we got to also realize that there is life. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and we got to keep our hopes and prayers for that too, and not just feel like it's a calamity and something, life won't get better. And I say that juxtaposed to today, it was announced that even though POTUS called this a Democratic hoax, and he's telling governors, you got to be nice to me or I'm not going to talk to you. That's his leadership style. If you're not nice to me, I'm not going to talk to you. And people need help. But I think it was announced that in the United States, the number just hit, I think, 100,000 people that tested positive so far. But just like Doris Burke, just like Kevin Durant, just like some of the other athletes we've talked about, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. That's my hope and prayer. With medical science, they're going to be okay. I also want to just commend Doris Burke for letting people know, because a lot of people don't have to tell you anything. But I really appreciate that she came out and did that. So I wish her Godspeed, and that she'll be back on top of the universe very, very soon and doing her thing in the world of broadcast. Also, NFL football, some news about that too. I know everybody has their own way of helping out, but I really appreciate what the great Drew Brees did. He and his wife giving $5 million to help the state of Louisiana dealing with the coronavirus outbreak, I guess pandemic, or whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping and praying that science, with God's providence, will get on top of that. Everybody needs help at some time. And what I do love about what we're seeing in the sports world is that mainstream can make a donation to. I think Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they contributed nearly $100 million to deal with pandemics. And I know that POTUS, when President Obama had funded the Centers for Disease Control, the current administration, they stripped it. Those guys, Mitch McConnell and POTUS, they said they wanted to make Obama a one-term president. That's what McConnell said. I'll never forget that. You should never say that about an American president, especially if you don't say it about the guy right now that called this hoax a pandemic. He called this pandemic a hoax. Boy who cried wolf. People got to remember that, because if we don't remember history, then we're doomed to repeat it. New Orleans Saints quarterback said on Twitter last week that assessing the need in New Orleans is a daunting task in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak, and because of how many people it has affected in many ways. So I really appreciate what he did. Everybody has to do something to do our part. I love what I implore our other broadcast brethren to do, and the sponsors that pay them millions of dollars yearly to keep them afloat. They could have taken that time that they were playing replays of basketball games from 10, 15, 20 years ago. What if they had taken that same time to bring on some doctors or some conscientious people to talk about how to solve the issues affecting people with coronavirus? Steph Curry did a thing yesterday with Dr. Fauci, which has served 6 administrations, and he's one of the experts in the world when it comes to dealing with pandemics. What if we just realized that not everybody is going to watch the news? There's still a lot of people down in Texas and Florida, even parts of California, that were congregating in masses along the beaches and lakes. I mean, they're telling you not to do that. So what if some of our sports brethren, I can only do my part. That's why I'm saying to you sponsors, that are the ones that are paying, tens of millions of dollars to companies, and their legacy is going to be that when the house was burning, when the fire came and the floods came, they showed you replays. Big C Sports didn't do that. We're telling you real talk, things that can keep some people safe that may not watch the news. And so when Drew Brees does what he did, and Steph Curry did, what he was able to do, and a lot of other athletes, I think Kyrie Irving gave like over $300,000. People were doing what they can. There was the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers just talked about him yesterday. I think his name is Michael Rubin. And they're making, with uniforms, they're making masks and other hospital equipment. What a beautiful thing to do. He could have just been watching replays at home. All of us, we don't need everybody, just some conscientious people, and hopefully that'll make a difference. And I'm really proud of what Drew Brees did, because he and his wife Brittany, they own their restaurant chains also. They have a food delivery service. He mentioned in his post. People can go on and Google that, but they're trying to make sure that people can eat. I know Big C talks a lot about how he takes food and feeds people. A lot of people can do that. All we got to do is just put our heart and mind and body and soul into it. And for our media brethren, why not do some of what we're doing? Don't be obtuse to the fact that people need help. And people can look sometimes to their sports brethren to get the help and to spread that help. We all have to talk about it if we can. There's a lot of athletes that have been able to come out and talk about, what's happened to them and this coronavirus pandemic. Detroit Pistons forward Christian Wood, he's among the athletes from around the world who've tested positive for coronavirus. A lot of these guys are going to be okay. The coronavirus outbreak has led to the suspension and cancellations of sporting events all over this world, except for a Big C Sports paying homage to Major League Baseball opening day for 2020. The universe will always know that I did that today in today's show. And today's show is March 27th, 2020. You look at the world of what happened last week in sports, from NBA to NHL to Major League Soccer, they all suspended, even Major League Baseball, and suspending spring training and pushed back the start of the regular season because of COVID-19. And so I just appreciate a lot of players. There's some players from the Lakers that have also tested positive. They came out to let that be known. I mean, everybody knows it's up to them that if they want to, they can. LA Sparks announced on March 27th today that guard Sydney Weiss, she's tested positive for coronavirus. Athletes are out there doing it. We talked about the Boston Celtics guard Marcus Smart. He tested positive for coronavirus. It's a virus, just like a cold, a little bit more serious, but a lot of people can beat it. And what I love about our strong athletes coming out saying this is they're showing people that you can come down with that virus. And for the knuckleheads that are out there going to beaches, going out on spring breaks, doing whatever they got to do to get around masses of people, which Dr. Fauci told us not to do that. Surgeon General Jerome Adams told us not to do that. Your governors have told us not to do that. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, Gavin Newsom, from New York to California, they're saying do the right thing. Kevin Durant, he came out that he tested positive for coronavirus. I think they're all going to be okay. I'm hoping and praying they will. Rudy Gobert came out and mentioned that he was positive, and he foolishly was touching microphones because he didn't know what he didn't know. But he did atone for it. He was contrite about what he did. But they're taking the time to let people know. Donovan Mitchell, Utah Jazz, the guard, came out. He mentioned that he was tested positive for coronavirus. There's a lot of people who may, at some point in time, deal with it. But I know the numbers are climbing, but it doesn't mean that everybody is going to perish. I mean, a lot of people will survive this. I want to make sure we keep our grandparents safe, keep our parents safe, do things, whatever we can do, that we can just put that message out there. Not give you replays, but do some things that keep people healthy. And I know we all can do our part. Not everybody's going to look at life the same or do things the same way. But it's just always nice when people come together and talk about how to stay safe. I know the Athletics in Australia, they canceled their national titles amid the pandemic. This is Melbourne, Australia, so you can't say it's not affecting small towns in any country because it's all over the world. They canceled the 2020 National Track and Field Championships in the wake of the International Olympic Committee's decision to begrudgingly, they canceled the Olympics, overnight to postpone the Tokyo Summer Games to next year. Life goes on, but it's better when we're all healthy through it. So I really appreciate what they did. The Athletics Australian Chief Executive Darren Goucher on Wednesday said the decision was made in a bid to help flatten the curve that Dr. Fauci talks about. And people should Google that, the curve of the coronavirus pandemic. And he hoped that it would give athletes some certainty. People just got to know where they stand. We got to all know where we stand, medically. There are times that people come and go in our lives, but we're always going to be responsible for taking care of ourselves and the people that we love. We all got to do that. We can't blame the POTUS. We can't blame the federal government. We can't blame anybody. We can all do our part to help. And just like Drew Brees, just like Steph Curry, there's some conscientious athletes out there in different sports that are actually doing the right thing. Now, in the world of hockey, NHL hockey, I know Big C always talks about ice and libations. Hockey equipment maker Bauer, they shifted to medical shields. The hockey equipment manufacturer, they shifted from making visors to helmets, and for helmets to medical visors for those fighting the coronavirus pandemic. That's amazing. When hockey came to a halt amid the global pandemic, they were faced with the possibility of closing their manufacturing company in Quebec, in Canada. But they decided to do what it takes to help the medical science. And I love that. You know, we can all do a little bit of something. I love my part with what I'm doing on Big C Sports. I want to have the pulpit of the universe to talk about what people can do to stay safe. All I'm doing is saying follow Surgeon General's recommendation, Jerome Adams. Follow Dr. Fauci's recommendations. Jerome Adams is amazing. Dr. Fauci is amazing. Sanjay Gupta is amazing. Your own medical doctors can be amazing. We all got to take the time to do what it takes to stay safe. And that's why I'm saying to you sponsors, again, I can't say it enough. If you're paying tens of millions of dollars to sponsor sports companies and they're showing replays as opposed to juxtaposed to what we're doing with Big C Sports, we go live 5 days a week at the 6 o'clock hour on the #1 podcast network in the universe. From iHeartRadio to Apple Podcast to Google Podcast, there's a lot of platforms that we're on, and I want to make sure that if someone runs across what we're doing, just Google Big C Sports. You're not going to hear us playing replays of anything, especially when the house is burning. If a house was on fire right now, if lightning hit a house and it caught fire, how many people would stay inside of the house and watch replays of a baseball game or a basketball game? But there's a lot of sports companies that are getting tens of millions of dollars, and that's what they're doing, when they could take that same time and open up the airwaves to some people who are saving lives. I think that's important. WNBA Draft will be virtual this year. This season, due to the pandemic in New York City, WNBA Draft will be a virtual event this year. A lot of companies are doing things online too, as opposed to having to go into the office. So that's important. And the league announced today that, actually Thursday it came out, that the draft will be held April 17th as originally scheduled, but without players, fans, or media in attendance due to the coronavirus pandemic. So there's a lot of people who don't think it's going to be, over by Easter. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said that safeguarding the health and well-being of our prospects, our players and employees, and everyone connected to our game, as well as the general public, that's important. Big C Sports has been saying that even when it happened over in China. You can Google some of our shows. We were talking about that. So I'm really happy about WNBA deciding to do some things that are important. We all got to do our part. Barcelona, Spain, they're reducing the payroll during the coronavirus pandemic. Soccer is all over the world, maybe the most played sport, but due to coronavirus in Barcelona, Spain, they reduced the salaries of players amid the coronavirus outbreak. The Spanish club said late Thursday its executive board decided to temporarily suspend player contracts, which leads to a proportional reduction of the remuneration provided for the respective contracts. They don't pay money out if it's not coming in. 2018-19 season, Barcelona said player salaries for sports teams, it accounted for $727 million of its, I believe, 1.5 billion. So they can't pay the money out if it's not coming in. We're seeing a lot of sports leagues dealing with that too. So we know that's important. NFL draft, they're doing the same thing that WNBA is doing. They're keeping the NFL draft this April as scheduled. This came out of New York City. Commissioner Roger Goodell told the NFL teams yesterday that the draft will go on as originally scheduled for next month. It's going to take place between April 23rd and 25th, as it was originally scheduled for Las Vegas outdoor, right around the Palacio, on the lakes there in front of the Palacio. But that's not going to happen. Those plans have been scrapped because of because of the coronavirus outbreak. So, as of course he's going to say this, and he did the right thing. In a memo obtained by the Associated Press, Goodell said that public health, which is what Big C and I have been talking about well before all the leagues went on the Big C pause, that public health is more important than money. Even though not everybody sees it that way, we even did a show, what's more important, your health or your money? And we're just excited to see a lot of people are doing the same things, and they're starting to put the health of everybody over money. Even NBA basketball executives, the salary reduction is going to be 20% pay cut. They have a lot of money that's not coming in, so they're going to ring back some of the salaries. In New York again, top NBA executives are having their base salaries reduced by 20% for the foreseeable future. A person with knowledge came out about that. That's a story also reported in the Associated Press. Also, reductions affecting roughly 100 of the highest earning executives as the NBA joins the NHL and NASCAR in cutting salaries while competitions are on hold because of coronavirus. And those cuts are effective immediately and affect the NBA employees on both sides of the league headquarters in New York and the global offices, a person told the Associated Press. Big C said that about a month ago when he talked about the nuclear clause and how people were going to start having their salaries cut. I'm just happy that we can do whatever we can to make sure that we all are a part of the solution for our great country and keeping people together, keeping people knowledgeable. President Trump today invokes the Defense Act. It's finally offering much-needed ventilators to a lot of hospitals that need it. I know Andrew Cuomo's been talking about that a lot over in New York City. They need it in hospitals in Los Angeles. They need it really everywhere where they have the coronavirus, up in Seattle, Washington also. They need all of it. We all got to do our part to help out and not just focus on, who won a game, who's bigger and stronger and faster. So I really appreciate that. Also, everybody just stay safe. You got to wash your hands. You got to keep your family safe. I know that as everybody gets their sports news, from different moments and different places, the reason I love this platform is that not everybody is going to watch the news. And some of the people that have the biggest platforms that can bring you news, they're not doing that either. They're just showing you replays, which is not keeping anyone in your family safe. So I want to just make that known that we'll always do that, be conscientious as part of what we do with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe, iHeartRadio Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on my two favorite apps called Google or Alexa. Just say Google or Alexa. Play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear from our sponsors. You will hear Welcome to the Show. I will introduce Big C as the Mystic from 3,000 miles away. And he will do his thing, and I really appreciate the way things are growing with Big C Sports Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Also happy to say that we're launching a real estate listing show in the spring of 2020. I know the governor's put some things on pause, but we're right there waiting for that word for go. And I want to make sure we let you know that. Looking for 100 brokers to list properties on TV. We can also do your loans. We can also help you refinance your home. That's important too. You get that with the Big C team. Just like real estate companies, you have McDonald's is on TV. Car dealerships are on TV. Sports companies and sports teams, the games, when they're not on pause, they're on TV. And you can do it too with your real estate. Congress today and President Donald Trump have enacted a historic $2 trillion stimulus bill to address the dynamic economic crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Included are direct payments to many Americans. Wouldn't this be more important than showing you replays of a game 10 years ago? You're going to get direct payments to many Americans, an unprecedented expansion in unemployment benefits, $350 billion to small business loans. And while people right now, they need help immediately, it's going to take some time to get that money. But it is light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming. We just got to keep informed about what it is and make sure we have food in our bellies. I love bringing you my version of Major League Baseball's opening day in 2020 with Big C Sports. And I love going to every city in the world of Major League Baseball, at least in the United States, as we celebrate hopefully another World Series before the end of this year. As we always say, Big C. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young men, rumble. And as I always say, Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe? I'm hoping for God's providence. I'm asking for 1 million pastors all over this world to pray for God's providence and help and find a solution to deal with this coronavirus pandemic. Make sure you keep everybody you love healthy, wealthy, and wise every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide. You can follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe. As we always tell you, there's never, ever an excuse for domestic violence. If you know any man or woman going through that garbage, please pick up the phone and call 911, because no man or woman should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.